Excellencies, Minister Van Di Tang, Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, distinguished leaders, delegates and esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jean-Jacques Boufflet, Vice Chairman in charge of advocacy at the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam. First and foremost, I kindly extend my sincere thanks to the government of Vietnam and particularly the colleagues at the Ministry of Industry and Trade for your unwavering efforts to promote fair trade, foster business growth, shape forward-looking policies, and bridge stakeholders between Vietnam and Europe under the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. I also want to express my gratitude to the International Market Development Department of the Ministry of Industry and Trade for organizing this forum, which unites government officials, business leaders, trade associations, and experts from Vietnam and the EU. It is a true privilege to stand here before you today to walk you through through how the EU is reshaping its supply chain and investment in response to tariff and what that unlocks for European businesses in Vietnam's booming market. This past August 1st marked a significant milestone, the 5th anniversary of the EVFTA entry into force. And those of you who know me a little bit will remember that I was one of the negotiators of this free trade agreement so many years ago. The agreement has catalyzed more than 300 billion in two-way trade, standing as a testament to inclusive, rule-based cooperation rooted in shared value, sustainability, and long-term strategic alignment. Coming up next, the Multilateral Policy Department will definitely provide an overview of 5 years of EVFTA implementation and outline the next steps ahead. In recent years, the global economy has navigated profound uncertainties from trade tension and geopolitical shift to strengthen national economic safeguards. As US tariffs escalate and supply chain realign, Eurocham Q3 2025 Business Confidence Index vividly illustrate the resulting turbulence. 31% of businesses reported net negative financial impact, up sharply from 15% in Q2. Yet 9% registered net positives, rising from 5% in Q2, spotlighting opportunities for adaptive firms to capture rerouted trade flows. A stark example of this volatility is the US imposed 40% transshipment duty on goods routed through Vietnam, which in fact is primarily targeting minimally processed product imported from other countries and in particular China. There is no mystery about the real target of the US president to evade a higher tariff, which has left European businesses uncertain about its enforcement and scope. Intended to curb evasion, the policy vague substantial transformation criteria have fueled confusion over compliance costs and risk to legitimate exports. This anxiety is evident in Eurocham Q3 2025 Business Confidence Index report, with 20% of surveyed European firms in Vietnam citing global trade and tariff uncertainty as a top concern, signaling a market drop in confidence amid ongoing ambiguity. We commend the Vietnamese government proactive engagement with the US to clarify these rules, though European businesses remain cautiously optimistic of the progress as persistent uncertainty hinders investment and operational planning for firms already facing elevated risk. In this volatile landscape, the EU has strategically elevated Vietnam as a cornerstone partner, yielding revenues in diversified trade, robust investment, and supply chain diversification. Tellingly, relocation pressures remain minimal. Just 3% of firms are contemplating exit from Vietnam, while another 3% are expansion in or within the country, underscoring its enduring appeal as a resilient production and investment hub. Indeed, 76% of European business leaders now would recommend Vietnam as an investment destination, and the business confidence index climbed to 66.5%, its highest level in 3 years, surpassing pre-tariff level. Even amid mounting global uncertainties, European leaders and businesses remain steadfast in their faith in Vietnam's enduring strength. A vibrant young workforce, resilient economy, forward-thinking reforms, and deep commitment to sustainability and innovation. This conviction shines through in the robust long-term optimism of European firms in Vietnam, where 80% foresee compelling growth prospects over the next 5 years. Such attributes not only crown Vietnam as ASEAN unrivaled hub for diversification, but also cement its role as an enduring foundation for shared prosperity and enduring partnerships. Today, Vietnam stands as the EU leading trading partner in ASEAN, and its 16th worldwide. Registered EU foreign direct investment has surpassed $35 billion as of mid-2025, concentrated in manufacturing, renewable energy, pharmaceutical, and high-tech sector. This momentum is driving a qualitative shift in FDI, prioritizing technology transfer, workforce upskilling, and deeper integration into global value chains, while accelerating local supply chain development and drawing European firms into investments and collaborative partnerships with Vietnamese enterprises. Yet, challenges endure. In our ongoing dialogue with Eurocham members, administrative inefficiencies remain a consistent pain point, cited by 65% in our latest survey as a primary procedural hurdle that can delay operations, elevate unnecessary costs, and hinder overall business efficiency. We warmly commend the Vietnamese government resolute reforms in this regard, which are dismantling bureaucratic redundancies, easing regulatory constraints, and cultivating a more vibrant ecosystem for all enterprise to thrive. A hallmark of this progress is the 2025 administrative restructuring, consolidating 63 provinces and cities into 34 streamlined units effective July 1st, which hastens approval and amplifies operational efficiency. Such determination fosters renewed confidence. Enterprises witness authorities resolving stalled investment projects, while leading investors affirm trust in the state vision for an even more conducive climate. Additionally, over the past months, we have witnessed a renewed dynamism in the partnership between Vietnam and the European Union, one defined by strategic trust, shared priorities, and mutual respect. This has been vividly demonstrated through a series of high-level dialogues that are shaping a more ambitious and forward-looking chapter in our relations. During his visit to Hanoi on September 26, European Commissioner for Trade, His Excellency Maroš Šefčovič, met with Deputy Prime Minister Bhutan Son, where both sides agreed on the need for a joint working group to overcome barriers, deepen cooperation, and better harness our complementary strengths. And the good news is that Eurocham might be invited on case by case to certain of the meeting when we need to advocate on specific trade points. Soon after, at the Global Gateway Forum in Brussels on October 9, European Commissioner for International Partnership, His Excellency Joseph Sikela, once again met with Deputy Prime Minister Bhutan Son to advance cooperation in sustainable development, energy transition, and investment connectivity, the very priorities that defines Vietnam's next stage of growth. And in a strong signal of political will, Deputy Prime Minister Bhutan Son has extended an invitation to European Commission President Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen, as well as Executive Vice President Her Excellency Teresa Ribera, to visit Vietnam, an important gesture that underscores Hanoi's proactive diplomacy and its determination to foster a transparent, predictable, and investment-friendly ecosystem for European partners, including Eurocham, its 1,400 members, and its 9 national business associations, and beyond it, the whole European business community in Vietnam, stand as steadfast partners in facilitating seamless trade and nurturing a vibrant business environment across our region. A commitment we will intensify in the years ahead through innovative advocacy, collaborative initiatives, and signature events like our upcoming Green Economic Forum 2025 on November 27th in Hanoi, which will unite business leaders, policymakers, innovators, and sustainability advocates to forge a greener, more resilient economy for Vietnam. We extend our deepest gratitude once more to the Vietnamese government for your tireless dedication to these shared goals, and we are committing to playing a pivotal role in contributing to the upgrade of EU-Vietnam partnership to a comprehensive strategic partnership level. We eagerly anticipate even closer collaboration to unlock mutual prosperity for Vietnam, the EU, and beyond. Thank you very much for your attention.
Excellency, Vice Minister Phan Thi Tang, distinguished guests and colleagues, Si Chao. It is an honor to address you in this Vietnam-European Union Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum here in Ho Chi Minh City. This forum has a marked significance, as it is the first time to be held in the new expanded province of Ho Chi Minh, which I'm sure will see increase its attractive for foreign investment. We gather today to discuss about new driving forces, about opportunities and challenges, about new trends in international trade. We are witnessing an inflection time. For decades, most members of the international trading system have benefited from the stability provided by a combination of WTO rules and free trade agreements. Rules bring predictability. Without them, it would be the law of the forest, and we would all suffer, especially the smallest economies. Geopolitical competition, as Vice Minister also mentioned, is affecting global trade, creating instability through economic and political pressures. COVID and the war in Ukraine had a huge impact in the world economy. Over-dependencies make us vulnerable. Economic security has become a new and essential dimension of international trade, implying reduction of dependencies, the design of reliable and resilient supply chains, particularly for raw materials, but not only. Also, the creation of anti-coercion mechanisms aims to avoid the weaponization of trade. And not only the rules-based trade system is being questioned, this happens at a time when our economies have to absorb a major digital transformation and a technological revolution. We also need to adapt to climate change and energy transition. We are asking our economies to be secure, innovative, and green, providing jobs at the same time. It doesn't sound easy. And this is why today's event is so timely. It is indeed essential to unleash new driving forces, to diversify supplies and markets, identifying the right partners and transforming together challenges into opportunities, because only together will we be able to manage successfully this evolution. And the European Union is the right partner for Vietnam. As the world's third largest trading power, the EU remains strongly committed to legal frameworks and multilateralism. The EU is well positioned to guide efforts towards an updated international trade system, able to provide answers to new situations. The same goes for Vietnam, which has become an example of international economic integration. Vietnam is a regional leader in bilateral and multilateral economic cooperation frameworks. Both the EU and Vietnam are developing respective domestic economies to make them more competitive and resilient in view of international instability. The Letta and Draghi reports outline the necessary EU reforms to unleash competitiveness. On its part, Vietnam has set an ambitious economic agenda for the coming years, with a reinforced role for the private sector. The EU and Vietnam took the right decision in 2020 when they signed the free trade agreement. It entered into force that year.
It's a great pleasure for me to join you this afternoon at the Vietnam EU Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum 2025 under the theme Unleashing New Driving Forces. In a time of shifting global trade dynamics, new tariff regimes, an evolving supply chain, resilience, predictability, and sustainability have become the key drivers of successful economic partnerships. The European Union and Vietnam have shown how mutual trust and shared ambition can turn global uncertainty into opportunity. This year marks 5 years since the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement entered into force, a landmark that has helped Vietnam become the EU's leading trading partner, as the Vice Minister kindly pointed out, and one of Europe's fastest growing export markets. The EVFTA has not only boosted trade, but also laid the foundation for greener and more sustainable investments. Across the EU, Denmark stands as a strong supporter of Vietnam's growth journey. Danish companies have made some of the largest green investments in Vietnam today. As the Vice Minister also kindly pointed out, Lego with their $1 billion US factory opening earlier this year, Vestas leadership in onshore and offshore wind, Pandora's upcoming jewelry plant powered entirely by renewable energy, just to name a few. and there are a lot more to come. I've spent the past 2 days in Da Nang together with fellow EU colleagues exploring how European countries can deepen cooperation with Vietnam, especially in renewable energy, infrastructure, green supply chain and digitalization. It was inspiring to witness Da Nang's transformation from a modern coastal town into one of Vietnam's most dynamic cities, a growing logistics hub and a frontrunner in smart and sustainable growth. This visit reminded us how fast Vietnam is evolving, not just as an export base, but as a partner shaping the future of green growth across ASEAN. These developments highlight an important message. International investors are ready to bring in high-quality FDIs to Vietnam if the framework conditions remain predictable, transparent, and aligned with the country's green growth and transition goals. Stable power planning, access to renewable energy through the direct power purchasing agreement, and consistent enforcement of sustainability standards are now decisive factors in investment decisions. As we enter the next phase of the EVFTA, attention is turning to how this agreement can also support supply chain diversification and economic, cyber and energy security. Denmark and the European Union remain an active and trustworthy partner within these important topics. European companies are increasingly seeking reliable, low-carbon supply bases in new markets, and Vietnam is emerging as one of the most attractive destinations. By combining renewable energy, a strong supply base, and digitalized logistics, Vietnam can position itself as a trusted, sustainable production hub for European green industries. Of course, challenges still remain. Reforms in regulatory transparency, customs procedures, and IPR enforcement are still critical. In Denmark, we practice what we call market dialogue, structured conversations between public authorities and businesses before new policies are launched. This helps to align expectations early, reduce risk, and ensure that policies work in practice and not just on paper. Open and constructive dialogue is key to unlocking new growth drivers between Vietnam and Europe. Denmark and Vietnam's partnership spans more than 5 decades, from development cooperation to a modern partnership focused on green and sustainable growth. With the Green Strategic Partnership launched by our 2 Prime Ministers in 2023 and the Joint Action Plan adopted earlier this year, we're turning ambition into action. Together advancing cooperation in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, healthcare, statistics and education, all in support of Vietnam's net zero 2050 commitments. Today's discussion, from the next steps of the EVFTA to green transition and circular production, are crucial to keeping this momentum. Let us continue to build trust, attract new investments and unleash the driving forces of a greener, more resilient Vietnam-EU partnership. Thank you very much.